Just because you're filming me, it really doesn't intimidate me. It doesn't scare me.
Okay. You don't
You've got a mask on your face like trying to hide your identity. It doesn't scare me.
You don't intimidate me. You can try and arrest me and everything like that.
Welcome to the Audit Lab, where police power meets public accountability.
This episode is brought to you by the Gwen Auditor. Be sure to check the link below, subscribe to his channel, and give him the credit he deserves. In this episode, Gwen Auditor is outside a government and BBC building, calmly filming when staff rush out, accusing him of trespassing, despite there being absolutely no signage to support that claim. But when the police arrive, the situation escalates rapidly. The officer doesn't come to keep the peace. She arrives with attitude, issuing orders.
There's a footpath that is public. This is not. This is private.
Why does it say it's private?
It's private property.
Where does it say it's private?
The landlord owns the land.
Who's the
I
landowner?
don't want to get into an argument with you. I would just like to leave sight if that's possible.
Who is the landlord? No, I'm not going to leave, no.
You're not going to leave?
No, I'm going to wander around.
Anyway, because it's private property
Oh,
and we don't allow you to film in here.
I just wanted to find out a bit about the Gangmasters and Labour Abuse Authority, to be honest.
They're not here.
Well, funny how there's a sign in there that says Gangmasters and Labour Abuse Authority.
So why are you coming investigating the gangmasters? What reasons do you have for that?
Because I find it interesting.
You find it interesting?
Yeah.
So I've called the police. I'm not going to get into an argument.
Which law do you think I'm breaking?
It's private property.
What law is that then?
And you're not allowed
There's
to
no
take
law.
videos and photos of the building. It's not acceptable in the business that we're in.
Well, you can, yeah, of course you can. It's a government building.
It's not acceptable.
It's a government building.
Yeah, I know, but we've got procedures in place and people have to get permission to take photos. You've not asked for permission.
Well, surely it's public. If it's a government building, it's owned by the public.
Yeah, I know it's a government building, but still classed as private property. The land is owned by somebody else.
She is completely mistaken, and here's why. The staff member is confusing ownership with public access rights. Yes, a government site may technically be owned by a department or agency, but that does not make it private property in the legal sense. If the public can freely walk there without barriers or signage indicating restricted access, then it is a publicly accessible area, and filming there is entirely lawful. The claim that permission is required to film is simply incorrect. There is no UK law that prevents someone from recording a government building from a place where they are lawfully present. If they wish to prevent filming, they should restrict access accordingly, rather than attempting to enforce rules that do not exist.
See, I know you film stuff. I just want to know what it's about. So, obviously, this is a government building.
Yep.
What is it about?
It's a government building.
Yeah, but why are you filming it?
I didn't know I needed a reason. Why are you filming me?
Because I'm speaking with you and you're a suspect in an incident where you're filming a government building.
Suspect? I would imply that I've committed a criminal offence.
Listen to me a minute, okay? You're zooming in on people's IDs. I can tell you're one of those bloggers. That's absolutely fine, okay? But you can't be zooming in on people's IDs when this is a government building.
Who says?
It's the law, mate.
What law?
We don't play this game where...
Could you identify yourself, please?
Okay, PC 1191 Marseilles, as you can see by my
Thank you. Which
badge.
station are you based out of?
I'm based at Byron House Police Station.
Okay.
Yeah. So what are we filming? I don't really get what...
It's a government building.
Yeah.
I pay for it. I can film it.
Okay, so why are you getting mouthy then? Because the thing is that you've been getting mouthy with them.
They were getting mouthy with me. I was perfectly polite till they started giving me attitude.
Yeah, because they're asking why you're filming them when this is a government building and asking for their IDs. It's suspicious.
From the second this officer arrives, it is crystal clear she is not there to de-escalate. She is there to dominate. Her tone and language reflect a need for control, barking, "Listen to me," laughing mockingly as she says, "You're one of them bloggers," and repeatedly calling Gwen mate. It is unprofessional, condescending, and instantly sets the tone for conflict. She also fails to identify herself until Gwen has to ask, something every officer is trained to do at the earliest opportunity. Then, instead of assessing the situation fairly, she labels Gwen as suspicious, simply because he is filming a government building and asking staff for their identification. Both actions are completely lawful. Filming from a public space is protected under UK law, and asking for identification from individuals representing government institutions is a legitimate act of accountability, not grounds for suspicion.
Okay, what's your name?
I'm not going to give any details.
Okay, you need to give me your details.
No, I don't.
Yes, you have.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
I think you need to get your facts straight there.
No, okay, you listen to me now. You've been getting mouthy with these
No,
people.
I haven't.
Yes, you have. You've been harassing them.
I haven't harassed anyone. They approached
Yes,
me.
you have.
Yeah,
Okay.
we have the right to approach him.
That's
Obviously,
lies.
he's filming, so we've asked him
Yeah.
if he wouldn't film us on private property.
Yeah, of course.
We've been very reasonable with him, and the attitude that he has with you, he's had with us too.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
What was the reason?
There's nothing illegal about what I'm doing.
He said he's interested in the gangmasters and the abuse authority. He's just basically. I don't agree with the word that's said.
Alright then.
Okay?
So we would like him removed.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Is there
I'm in a public
anything
place.
threatening that you said at the minute?
No, it's not been threatening. But obviously he's not corresponding with us. I've asked him not to video. I've given us the reasons, which are valid reasons why. It's become argumentative, and really, I'd just like him to be removed from site.
This part clearly demonstrates how misinformation escalates when individuals do not understand the law. The staff member tells the officer that Gwen has been argumentative and filming on private property, but neither of those claims withstand scrutiny. There is no restricted access, no clear signage, and no legal barrier preventing him from recording. What makes it even worse is that Gwen had already explained his presence. He stated that he was filming in relation to the Gangmasters and Labor Abuse Authority, a legitimate government agency that investigates labor exploitation and modern slavery. The GLAA works to protect vulnerable workers and hold exploitative employers accountable. Therefore, documenting a government-connected site is neither random nor suspicious. It is purposeful and firmly in the public interest.
Why two vehicles on blue lights for somebody not breaking the law?
Because I was told that you were being quite abusive to staff and you were filming a government building.
Well, obviously
so
someone's
in our
lied to you
control
then, haven't they?
system, it's grade 1, which means that we travel on blue lights and sirens.
Okay.
And it's 2 vehicles because we're in a car each, so it's actually only 2 officers.
Okay.
So if you have like a YouTube channel or something.
You know, you were a bit hostile on me to start off with, demanding my details, so I'm not going to give you any information there, thank you.
Okay. Are you, so I'm going to need you to leave the premises.
Well, under what law?
Pardon?
Under
It's
what
called
law?
under Section 35 Act, okay? So it's a dispersal order, and I need you to leave this area, okay? Because people don't want to hear. You've been causing trouble. You've been shouting at them.
I haven't been causing any trouble.
Yes, you
You're
have.
lying
Okay,
now.
stop being argumentative with
Stop
me.
giving me attitude, no.
No, you've given me attitude from the start, which is on my camera and yours
What,
as well.
demanding my details
Okay.
and things like that straight
So
off the
you
bat?
need to move your stuff. Come on.
Hey, what are you doing?
I'm not taking anything. I'm walking with you.
Fine.
This was a complete misuse of Section 35. That power is reserved for situations where someone's behavior is likely to cause harassment, alarm, distress, or contribute to crime or disorder. Gwen was doing none of that. He was calmly filming on publicly accessible land. Recording government property from a public space is lawful, protected under Article 10 of the Human Rights Act, and supported by NPCC photography guidance. Nothing about his actions met the threshold required for a dispersal order. What the officer actually did was distort the law to suit her own feelings. She used Section 35 as a means to silence someone she and the staff found inconvenient. Saying, "People don't want you here," is not a lawful justification, it is an emotional one.
Okay, don't worry. Yeah, I've got him on my camera as
Yep.
well. It's just silly.
I've got it all on camera. No, it's not serious. That's your thoughts. I'd rather you keep them to yourself, to be honest, with a public employee.
What? Right, then. Is this your like full-time job then? Plug-in?
I do all sorts.
What, plug-in buildings?
So we're on the public. Can you put the bag down now? You're on the public
I've got you back
pavement.
here. Okay. So I don't want you round that private property anymore, okay? If you are caught there again, I will come back and you can be arrested for it, okay? Do you
Can be
understand
arrested?
that? I'm giving
Under
you a
what
warning
section?
for this now. I'm being quite reasonable with
Okay,
you.
can you tell me which act and which section that is, please?
It's under Section 35 Act, but at the minute, I'm giving you a warning
Section 35
for it.
of what?
Yes, it doesn't matter what.
No, it does
okay?
matter what.
No, okay. This is end of now, okay? Just because you're filming me, it really doesn't intimidate me. It doesn't scare me.
Okay. You don't
You've got a mask
intimidate
on your
me.
face like trying to hide your identity. It doesn't scare
You
me.
don't intimidate me. You can try and arrest me and
Okay.
everything like that.
All right. Well, I'm going to leave now, okay?
This moment clearly demonstrates just how unfit this officer was to handle the situation. When Gwen calmly asks, "Section 35 of what?" she snaps back, "It doesn't matter what." This is the end of it. That is not confidence. It is a complete disregard for accountability. Any officer exercising police powers must clearly state the legal basis they are acting under. It is a fundamental part of procedure. Refusing to do so only proves she was not acting on lawful grounds at all. She was improvising. She then makes matters worse by accusing Gwen of attempting to intimidate her simply because he is wearing a mask. That claim is entirely unfounded. Masks are legal, and his was clearly worn for privacy, not as a threat. Twisting that into intimidation shows she was not assessing the facts. She was reacting emotionally once again.
And if I catch you on this premises again, okay, it's going to be taken further. You don't need that. You can get on with your day. You can go film some other buildings, okay? Get on with your vlogging business. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is one building that you can't film. Go and film another one.
I'll film what I like them in public.
But that's a private property that you've seen on.
Yeah, it's publicly accessible. Section 33 of the Criminal Justice Act 1972.
Okay, well done.
However, the bit that you were on was part of private land. So you just weren't allowed on that bit. Okay?
Well, it's not government property, is it?
Huh?
Is it not government property?
That bit is government property.
Well, it's public property,
However,
isn't it?
no, it is not in this instance, just because of whatever goes on in there, and I've already had word in it. All right. So just because it's a government building doesn't necessarily mean it's always accessible to the public.
Well, I didn't see any signs or anything, Constable.
I appreciate that. And whatever it might have been, we've just tried to sort it out at the lowest level that we possibly can. Okay?
No problem.
Which is why we've just asked you just to move away from the building and just not.
See, that's fine. If your colleague had asked as politely as you are
That's what I
right
did
now.
in the first
No, you
place.
didn't. You give me attitude. You give me lip. You're acting like you're acting stupid.
I'm not
So,
interested in either side now, as long as it's all resolved and we just move on peacefully and quietly. All right.
This part is the nail in the coffin for that officer's attitude. While Gwen calmly tries to explain himself, even referencing a Home Office document, she cuts him off mid-sentence with, "Mate, I don't care about it." It is pure arrogance. She is dismissing official guidance from the very department that governs her powers. Talking over him, mocking him, and refusing to even listen, shows how little respect she has for the public. When Gwen tells her he is going to file a complaint with professional standards, it is the only logical step left. But sadly, as he later confirmed in his comment, it went nowhere. He received nothing more than an automated response from Nottinghamshire Police and no follow-up. That says everything. The system meant to hold officers accountable often ends up shielding them instead. When an officer can behave like this, ignore policy, mock a citizen, and still walk away without consequence, it is not just a failure of one individual, it is a failure of the system that protects her. From the very beginning, that officer treated Gwen not as a citizen with rights, but as a problem to be controlled. Her tone, her arrogance, and her refusal to listen turned a lawful, calm interaction into chaos entirely of her own making. The real irony is that Gwen remained calm, factual, and polite throughout. He understood the legislation, the limits of police power, and that clearly frustrated her. The more reasonable he became, the more unreasonable she behaved. When her colleague stepped in, it immediately showed how the situation could have unfolded if she had demonstrated even a basic level of emotional control and respect for the public she is meant to serve. It highlighted just how thin the line can be between good policing and an outright abuse of authority. And frankly, if she carried that same attitude into any other profession, she would likely be dismissed on the spot. Imagine a doctor speaking to a patient that way, or a teacher addressing a parent with that tone. It simply would not be tolerated. Yet somehow, within policing, behavior like this is often brushed aside with an automated response and no real accountability. That is the core of the problem. Until officers like her face genuine consequences for disrespecting the public, these incidents will continue, and auditors like Gwen will remain among the few holding them to account. That is it for today's video. If you enjoyed this episode, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It genuinely helps support my independent coverage. Also, be sure to check out Gwen Auditor, his channel is linked in the description. Show him some support. Thanks for watching.